talking about these meetings with the players where, everyone will sit down, players and the coaches, and they'll talk about whatever it is, something about how to attack a certain issue, like you said. And then the coaches would leave, all of them, and just leave it to the players for 15 minutes to discuss. And then the coaches come back, like Mark said, like, all right, what do you think? And it's just such a collaborative effort that I know we've heard the players talk about how much that means to them, but I like one of the again, like texting with buddies and Evan included, like one of the things that is really, if I had to, make a top 3 of like list of things that have surprised me about this season in the turnaround, it's that Ime's not only, I don't want to say desire, but certainly willingness to air things out in public, to call guys out, going back to when he
Right.
got here,
Right.
like all season long. This isn't something that started partway through. From the very beginning, from training camp into the preseason, the start of the regular season, early season struggles, he had no problem airing guys out in public after presumably doing it behind the scenes. But certain things that maybe in the past Brad never would have done, it would have stayed behind closed doors. Ime has been, very willing to bring that out in public. And in today's day and age and the way athletes are built, I never thought that would work. I never, ever thought that would work. And I wonder if the collaborative end of things that I just touched on that you brought up versus that, I wonder if those things just kind of, it's all part of a larger package of respect that ultimately just really, really works inside that locker room in a way that, again, I personally, as an outsider, never envisioned.
Yeah, I think a big thing was they all finally came around to what he wanted them to do, and that's when they started winning. So, what he's coaching is something they clearly believe in. Once they, and I think it was a struggle at first, especially the ball movement issue and getting the Jays out of isolation tendencies. It's and Smart played a role in that when he called them out. So it doesn't always work, but when people have spoken up this year, the results been good.
Yeah, and I think it's led to this team just becoming a much tougher team. I mean, I was talking coffee, we talked about this. I was so impressed with how this team handled themselves. 2:30 to go, and Tatum follows out in a tight game against KD and Kyrie.
Right.
And if you go back, I don't know, let's see, what's it, April? So let's go back 6 months. There's no way Boston wins that game if Tatum follows out, close game, tight game at the end of the game. There's no way.
Might be able to go back like 4 months.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's when it started to turn around. So maybe not 4 months, but it's definitely 6 months. But this team now has a toughness that I think often gets overlooked. And I think it's part of this not new, I should say that, but part of this mantra of like, yeah, we didn't duck the Nets. We wanted to play them. Right. We knew it would be tough, but we just said, bring it on anyway. Let's do this. They just seem tougher. I mean, everybody just seems like that. I can't, again, after watching what we saw from them in the beginning of the season, I could not be more ecstatic about how they kept their composure at the end of that game in Game 4. I was so impressed with how, again, Jalen making the right play on a leak out, to Marcus Smart, Al trailing the play. Like good things happen when you play basketball the right way. And sometimes it might not be easy. It might be tough, but if you do it, things will happen. I think Boston has seen enough of that. And that comes from Ime. Ime toughened this team right up. And I was listening to Simmons and Haralabas talk about it yesterday. I was walking my dog and they were talking about how, Ime killed this team in the public for months. And that's not normally how it works nowadays, but like it looked like it was going to backfire, but it really, really, really strengthened this team. And they have so much continuity together. They've been through a lot of battles together. I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum. They've been to so many conference finals and all this stuff. Well, now you have a team that's been through all this stuff, but now they're a little older now. Instead of having 19-year-old Jason Tatum against LeBron in Game 7, now you have 24-year-old Jason Tatum who's done all that stuff before. And now it's a two-way monster. And now has the ability to make plays and create for others. Same for the Smart. I mean, it's just the toughness here, I think, is going to be a real interesting part of this team going into Game 1 and through this series, and we'll see how it goes. And it's you go against a team the other side, that's a tough team too. They've been there, done that. So this to me, Mark, again, we've talked about this already, but I think it's either this or Phoenix, Golden State. That will be the best series of the entire postseason.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that, to go back to what you were saying about all the guys who came and went, Hayward, Kyrie, even Terry Rozier,
Love you, Terry.
this is the core. These three guys is the core that stuck together through all of that and sort of get tempered by fire, if you will. And that's what you see now. I think, that was part of the growth process, was that Kemba had to come and go. I think, it just every step made these guys better, especially Smart. Every time a point guard stepped in front of him, he was like, hey, what about me? Well, now they've shown the faith in him. And I think he's having the best season of his career.
I don't think it's even close. I don't think it's even
right
close.
after the payday too, which is just
Yeah.
nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful.